Welcome back to another mom chat. Yesterday was actually my birthday, and so in honor of turning 38, I felt compelled to share with you 38 things that I have learned the hard way over the years. So I just got this burst of inspiration, wrote all of these random things down in my notebook, and so in hopes that it is advice that you can, take and learn from my mistakes, that would be awesome. I just wanted to share these things in hopes that it helps you. Now, as you will see, these are not in any particular order. There's actually more just this kind of train of thought, stream of consciousness going on. But 38 things that I wish my younger self had known. Number one, wear your damn sunscreen. I didn't even realize when I was a little kid and even into my teens, 20s, and as recently as 5 years ago that I needed to be wearing sunscreen. And so anyway, long story short, I'm 38. I just turned 38 and I've already had to have a lot of little precancerous cells removed, and it's just not fun, right? So don't do that. Don't make my mistake. Wear your sunscreen. Number two, less makeup is better. I have never been a huge makeup person. I've never actually known a lot about how to put makeup on, but as I look in a lot of pictures, I see that the ones where I'm wearing a lot of makeup, I really do just kind of look like a clown. So more and more, I think we need to appreciate natural beauty. Remember, first and foremost, that our appearance is not what matters. And me personally, I'm much more put together today than I have been the last couple of chats, but that's just because I need to head into work soon. Point is, just keep it simple, right? Number three is a big one. Oh my gosh, I learned this the hard way. Prioritize sleep above all else, especially as a mom. It is crazy how much lack of sleep messes with your ability to think clearly, stay mentally stable, and even just function, right? So if you have ever dealt with sleep deprivation, kids' sleep issues, what have you, it is brutal. I've been there. And I still know that there were a lot of times where I could or should have slept and I wasn't. In fact, you always hear people say, I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? Well, when I don't sleep, I feel like I am dead. And sleep is not always in the cards for us busy mamas, but you have to make sure and get as much sleep as you can. Number four, people really do come into your life at the right time. As I look back, it's pretty amazing that, I had really good friends for a while, and then circumstances changed, that season ended, and somehow then, it felt perhaps like a loss at the time, but the right person is always there. And I'm just really, really grateful for the people that have been in my life every step of the way. They were totally the ones that got me through whatever it was I was going through. And we need each other, right? We all need that support network. Number five, I'm not Superwoman. You are not Superwoman, meaning we can't do it all, and that's okay. We're not supposed to. We do, however, have what I call a Superwoman week. So, TMI perhaps, but if you are not tracking your monthly cycle and recognizing the power that it has over your mental clarity, your physical energy, and your actual ability to be productive, look into that, because there is so much wisdom on it, and I've noticed a huge difference myself. There is in particular 1 week of the month where I feel like I can do anything. I literally get so much done and get to feel like Superwoman for that short little window. Number six, washing dishes, doing laundry, it's never gonna end. So who cares? Let it go. It'll all get done at some point. Don't stress about those things day in, day out. Number seven, being a mom is a thankless job. While we are in the thick of it, no one's gonna appreciate what we're doing. Our kids especially are not gonna know how much we are doing. We have to do it because we know that it is our vocation, our calling, and find our own fulfillment, our own joy in the process, not be looking for external validation, approval, rewards, and appreciation on the part of anyone else, least of all our kids. Right along with that, number eight, thank your mom. Make sure that you talk to her now and tell her how much you appreciate what she did for you. I cannot even believe, looking back, how much my mom did. And I totally didn't get it until I became a mom myself, or even until more recently when I have had more kids. It's just incredible what moms do, and they definitely don't get enough credit. So once you finally figure that out, make sure and thank your mom. Number 9, time matters way, way more than money. Don't chase the money, chase time. Get your life to the point where you can work as little as possible in order to have the most time that you can with those that you love. Number 10, again, flowing right from that, money is time, meaning that you want to be really, really careful with how you are using the money that you have, right? The money that you earn, because if you are constantly spending it and wasting it, right, then you literally owe hours of your life to pay for whatever it was, right? To pay back the debt that you owe. And I'm so committed to hurrying up, getting to a place where all I can do, all I have to do is what I want. Sounds like a dream, right? All right, number 11, relax. No one is going to remember or care about your little mess ups, about the things that you feel like you failed on. Case in point, my video yesterday, right? In the big scheme of things, no big deal. No one is really even paying attention. We all have this tendency to, like, we just naturally are egocentric, meaning we think in terms of our own view. And so we always assume that people are watching us and noticing us or caring what we do. And the reality is that most people are not paying any attention to you whatsoever. And even if they were to notice your little mistakes or your little mess ups, they're probably not going to think anything of it. We are our own worst critics. Number 12, the world doesn't revolve around you. I have definitely learned this over the years, and I've just had this tendency not to be arrogant or think that I am entitled to all this attention and wonderful stuff, but just to realize that there is a grander purpose and we don't control it all, right? The world is not at our fingertips. We get to experience all these blessings, and we need to just be grateful for the joy of the ride. What are we on? Number 13, it will only make sense looking back. Don't try to understand it all in the moment. How many times have I just felt so frustrated with something that was going on? I couldn't wrap my head around it. I just didn't understand why it had to feel so hard. And then months, maybe even years later, I look back and the pieces of my life suddenly clicked. It now makes sense why those things were so hard, why I was struggling. And I won't go into detail here, but I just have so many examples now of things that I can finally appreciate and realize that everything that happened had a purpose. So really, don't waste your effort trying to understand why things are the way they are when you're going through it, right? Just trust that everything has a purpose. Number 14, God heals all things in time. When we're hurt, when we're struggling, it feels like we're never gonna get over that. Or if you have a physical injury, I've had a couple really big ones, and I've been told things that I would never do again because of it. Guess what? I can, right? Those things do not have to be the forever end of what you love to do. Just do a little bit at a time. Just believe, just trust that it will work out. Our bodies are amazing, and it's gonna be okay. Number 15, coffee is life. If you know me at all, you know that I am so addicted to coffee, it's not even funny. But I don't consider that a bad thing, right? Everything in moderation, and I don't have too many other guilty pleasures, too many other drinks of choice. Really, it's just that thing that I turn to. I love to hold on to my warm mug of coffee in the morning. Not that it usually stays warm for very long, although it's better now that my husband got me this really awesome Yeti mug. Anyway, I digress. The point is just that have something you enjoy and don't feel bad about it. Do it for you, and for me, coffee it's my thing. Number 16, you get out of shape fast, so don't. If you can help it, right, do your best to just keep up with staying in decent shape, because it is crazy how quickly we can get weak, we can, you know, again, have injuries, or we can just fall into this place where we're not happy with how we feel, right? It's not about how you look, it's about how you feel. And having 3 kids in 4 years while trying to work full time, like, oh my gosh, that has taken such a toll on me, such a toll on my body. And I used to be in incredible shape. I used to be totally into all these fitness programs, and I miss that. So, you know, again, long-winded little rant here, but please, please, please do your best to just stay active. You will feel so much better. Number 17, try not to get emotional here, but take the phone call. It might be your last. So how many times, right, are we busy going about our day and someone's calling or texting, or we think to ourselves, I need to call that person, and for whatever reason, you don't call them or you don't answer, you don't respond right away. Just take it from me, right? You know this already, but believe me when I tell you that you need to keep your priorities straight. Answer the dang phone. Make sure that you tell people how much you love them, because you never know how fast it can change and that they might be gone and you'll never get that chance. Okay. 18. A messy house does not mean you are a bad mom. Repeat it with me, please. This is so huge. A messy house does not mean you are a bad mom. I have to drill this into my head over and over and over again, because I guess my personality is just that OCD type A perfectionist thing. I know that you could have pinpointed me for that, right? But again, with 3 young kids running around, that is not my reality, and it used to stress me out so badly. The more I've relaxed, the more I've realized that, you know, the mess is always going to be there. And what's so much more important is just hanging out with my kids, having fun, spending that quality time, the better. So there are so many ways to be a good mom. And it's wonderful to care for our families by having clean living quarters, but that's not what defines a good mother. So figure out what you think a good mom is. It's whatever you determine and define as a good mom. For me, having a clean house no longer fits that definition. Number 19, work is a lot more fun when you don't need the money. Now, I can't take credit for this saying. It actually comes from a guy named Mr. Money Mustache that I've read several of his articles and his blog, and I think he's got some really amazing financial advice going back to the idea of time freedom and getting out of debt sooner, like I was talking about. But it's so true, right? We all have these talents, these passions, these hobbies, and when we can free our time up to engage in those kinds of activities without being dependent on having to, you know, bring an income in, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful, right? So that's my dream. More of that. Number 20, to whom much is given, much is expected. I have always known this. My dad used to remind me of this when I was a little kid, right? It's biblical in nature, and it is just so true. I really strongly feel that I've been so blessed, and I want to help others. I just want to share. I want to give back. And, you know, we are expected to do a lot, to have works to show in support of our faith. And so yeah, don't forget that responsibility. That should be the most important thing orienting our life. Number 21. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with this one. I believe it is okay to go to bed angry. There have been nights, you know, just classic marriage spats where we're not going to solve it. We're too tired. It's getting out of hand. It's not going to help us to keep going around and around. The best thing that we have been able to do is just go to bed, because the next morning we have a whole different perspective. Our bodies have recharged. We're in a better mental space. And so, you know, let me know again, do you agree or disagree? But I firmly believe that sometimes going to bed when you're angry is actually the right thing to do, because you can fix it in the morning, and it will more often than not turn out way better than if you battled through and just kept fighting in the moment. Number 22. I wish that my younger self had known this more, and I wish that so many more people today knew this. I think science is starting to really bring to light a lot of these issues, but it's so, so crucial. Number 22 is that dietary issues, how you eat, right? The nutrients you are putting in your body or lack thereof are at the heart of so many health issues. In particular, there is such a huge connection between our digestive, gut health, and our mental and emotional state. Years ago, when I was struggling with postpartum depression, it was changing up my diet and actually really focusing on my digestive health that completely changed. It felt like it rewired my brain, literally. And so that's why I've posted before on my channel videos for how to make really healthy things, including meat stock and other recipes like that. So check those out. I'll link some of those for you in the description. But please look into it. If you have any health problems or you're just not feeling great, and even if you just want to live a more optimal life, make sure that you are eating well, because we're only given one life. We're only given one body. We've got to take care of it. Number 23. Oh man, if I could tell my pre-mom self this. It's not about the stuff. The things that you think you need to be a good mom or to do a good job, that's not what is going to help you. I spent basically my entire pregnancy when I had my first son. I spent those whole 9 months researching what was going to be the best car seat, the best stroller, the best breast pump, the best everything, right? And then the baby arrived and I had no freaking clue what to actually do. And I kept looking to things like, okay, I need to get this perfect sleeper, or I need to get this white noise machine, or I need to get blah, blah, blah. And the point is that none of the things solve your problems, right? Some of them might make your life easier, but again, like just be easy, just be simple. It's not about the stuff. Number 24, the smaller the house, the better your life. Again, do you agree or disagree? But there really is something to this minimalistic lifestyle. My life is not personally as minimalist as it could, but I really, really miss the simplicity that I had in my old house that was just 900 and something square feet, super small, one bathroom. I don't know, it was less to clean, it was less to maintain, and it just felt cozy. It felt so much easier than where I'm at now. Number 25, in line with the house thing, get a fenced yard. If you have kids or pets, invest in the darn fence. We do not have a fenced yard, and it has driven me crazy for years because I have no way to just open the door and let my little kids out, and with boys especially, they need to be roaming free. So get a fence, just invest in it. When we had a dog, we used to have to go, hook her up to a chain, and that's actually how we lost our dog, is she ran away because we didn't have a fence. It's so bad. So get a fence. Number 26. Personally, it's nice not to have to deal with snow. I grew up in Colorado and winters used to be a regular thing. I didn't know any different. Now I'm in South Carolina, and I personally absolutely adore that it rarely, if ever, snows. It's comical how people freak out at the threat of snow. But yeah, I really like that I've got mild winters. They don't usually inhibit my ability to go out and do things or go places. And anyway, I like not having snow. 27. Both the beach and the mountains can be your happy place. I used to be such a mountain girl being from Colorado, but now being out on the coast, I absolutely adore the beach. And so I think it's okay to have more than one happy place and to recognize the benefit, the beauty in wherever you're at. 28, we're getting there. I'm only 38, so hang tight. We're more than halfway there. Life is too short for your feet to hurt. Buy the more expensive shoes. And I don't mean like hundreds of dollars. I just mean that I used to always get whatever was cheapest on sale at Kohl's or Target or Payless or something. And thank goodness for those options when money is tight. But, they were not good for my feet. I've had tons of stress fractures. It just, as I get older, I need the nicer shoes, the more like $40, $50, $80 range that will last longer. I will feel so much better. And as a little side note to this, personally, I don't even try and wear heels anymore. That's just not me. Even when I have to dress up for work, I just wear nice, like, what are they called? Like loafer shoes or something like that. But my poor feet can't handle the fancy looking shoes. Oh well. Number 29. I laugh at this one, especially if you knew me before I had kids, right? Like, I used to be that person. But let me get there. So 29 is that minivans actually aren't so bad. I am the biggest fan. I'm so addicted to our minivan now. I used to be that person that said I would never in a million years be a minivan mom. I thought that was awful. I had that stigma associated with them. But now I see how practical, functional they are. They're so much cheaper than a big SUV. And me with my young kids, I love that the doors open front and back, sideways, right? Instead of out to the side. You know what I mean? And with a push of a button, I can open the doors and they can get in. Oh, it's just wonderful. Number 30, write it all down or you'll forget it. And here what I mean is that you really need to be writing down the good memories because yeah, there are a lot of hard things that we do wish we would forget, but the sad thing is that our brains are not going to remember so much of our lives. Like 3/4 of what we go through, we're not going to remember even the next day or week. So I have gotten in the habit of writing down at least one good thing that happened to me every single day for years now. And I have these beautiful little notebook journals so that someday looking back, I've got this whole record of all the good things that they're small little things, right? Like a conversation I had with my kid or someone smiling at me at the store. Just these things that really did make a difference in the moment and I would otherwise forget. Number 31. I've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. There is no one right way to do things. There is no perfect order in life that, you have to follow. There's no such thing as the perfect parent. I drove myself crazy for years trying to figure out what the right thing was. And I was convinced that there was a right way to do things and that I had to find it. Now I know there is no such thing. So don't waste your time. 32, take lots of pictures, but make sure that you immediately put them in an album, whether that's digitally or, the actual hard copies. I absolutely love pictures and I just love having the memories of my life, but I now have like 10,000 photos on my phone and I don't know when in the world I'm ever going to go through them, get them organized, print them out. I probably don't even remember some of the things or some of the people in them. So make sure that you put them in some sort of organized album along the way. 33, we really are all so much more alike than we are different. We have way more in common that unites us rather than divides us. No matter who we are, what you look like, what your race or your religion or anything is, I have traveled around the world. My research, my job entails going around and learning about other cultures and other places. And every single time I am just blown away by the commonality that exists. And I wish more people focused on those connections, on the things we have in common, instead of all the political rhetoric and the things that drive this wedge. 34, do something for yourself on a regular basis. Otherwise, you will feel resentful. When we suppress our own needs, when we don't take care of ourselves, when we don't indulge in our own hobby or creative outlet, we just end up feeling bitter, right? And so we want to be able to take care of ourselves, fill our own cup, and do something that we enjoy. For me, that's making my YouTube videos, both on this channel and my other one. 35, along with that, self-care is not selfish. It is absolutely essential. You hear people tell you this, but it's still so hard to take care of yourself, right? To squeeze time for self-care in. Just do it. You will do everybody a favor if you are your best self. 36, it's not where you are, but your trajectory that matters. We can't look at any one snapshot moment and judge ourselves or judge other people. We've got to make sure that we're looking instead at the overall direction that we are headed. Are we heading in the right direction or a good direction? And right is a subjective term, as I just mentioned, right? Or are we kind of sliding down to a place that we don't really want to be and we better get back out before it gets too bad? make sure that you are kind to yourself, that you are giving yourself grace. And as I turn 38 here, I'm like a little bummed about getting older. I feel like an old lady already. I'm an older mom, but at the same time, like, I'm really, really excited with where things in my life are going. And I'm just determined to be on that upward trajectory, to take better care of myself, be in better health, really have more time for my passions and hopefully get to that debt-free place. I want to be on the up and up. 37, love is a sacrifice. It's so much less about the romance and the gifts that used to define a relationship when I was younger. And now it's really more about acts of service. If you're not familiar with the 5 love languages, definitely check that out. I'll link that book for you in the description. But I just think it's so true that there are different ways that we express our appreciation and our love. And for me and my husband especially, I'm so grateful for how much he does to help me out and to be there for the kids, because I don't want the expensive gifts. I don't want the flowers, all these other things. What I appreciate is him taking the load off of my shoulders and really pitching in to make things a little bit run more smoothly. So acts of service all the way. Finally, number 38 is that gratitude is the key to a blissful life. It's so easy to focus on the negative, what we don't have, what we want, what we feel like we should have had, but we don't. And the reality is that when we instead focus on the blessings right in front of us, we are just inviting that much more goodness and abundance into our lives. So keep a gratitude journal. At least think mentally of a couple of things every day that you're grateful for, even if it's really small and trivial, like I'm breathing today, right? That is actually a really, really, really huge deal. Another thing that I have to remind myself, for instance, that I'm actually really grateful for, when my kids are out of control and they're running around, being noisy, screaming, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And then I have to stop and remind myself how grateful I am that it actually just means they are strong and healthy and independent, right? So we've got to spin things for the positive. Now I have one bonus tip for you. I'm only 38, but I have a 39th. I guess I've bought myself a freebie for next year. And this isn't something that I, again, take credit for, but it's something that I echo 1,000,000%. And in fact, that is, again, why I created my Solutions for Simplicity YouTube channel, is to underscore this point here. So number 39 is that saying you don't have time for something is really just saying it's not a priority. Stop making excuses. Stop feeling like time is the problem, right? That you don't have enough time for what you want to do or what you need to do. We all have the gift of time, and it's up to us to use it as effectively, efficiently, and productively as possible. Thanks for listening. Let me know in the comments which of these many, many, many things I have learned the hard way resonate with you. Do you have anything to add? I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you back soon with another Mom Chat. Bye.